Can I get yellow? Okay. Today I'm going to explain how the equilibrium theory in communication is something that we use in personal relationships, professional situations, as well as everyday life. Whether it's walking down the street or riding in an elevator with people we don't even know. Affiliative conflict theory, also known as equilibrium theory, is a social psychological approach that encompasses interpersonal communication and has a background in nonverbal communication. First, you need to know how nonverbal communication is affected by the equilibrium theory. Equilibrium theory is tied to three aspects: eye contact, distance or physical proximity, and affiliation. Eye contact is linked to the affiliative motivation, and that approach and avoidance forces produce an equilibrium level of physical proximity, eye contact, and other aspects of intimacy. It is suggested that an equilibrium develops for intimacy, where this is a joint function of eye contact, physical proximity, and intimacy of topic, smiling, etc. This equilibrium would be at a certain degree of intimacy for any pair of people. One can deduce that if one of the components of intimacy is changed, one or more of the others will shift in the reverse direction in order to maintain the equilibrium. Next, do you know that equilibrium theory falls under nonverbal communication? One of these being eye contact, which serves as a number of different functions in two people's encounters. The most important is gathering feedback of others. During social interaction, people look each other in the eye repeatedly but for short periods. People look most while they are listening and use glances of about 3 to 10 seconds in length. When glances are longer than this, anxiety is aroused. There are both approach and avoidance focuses behind eye contact. The approach forces include the need for feedback and sheer affiliative needs. The avoidance components include the fear of being seen, the fear of revealing inner states, and the fear of seeing the rejecting responses of others. Eye contact can have a variety of subjective meanings such as friendship, sexual attraction, hate, and struggle for dominance. For example, eye contact can be used as a reinforcer in the operative conditioning of verbal behavior, such as looking at your partner in the eye when you say I love you or during wedding vows. Next, I'm going to talk to you about how personal space or physical proximity affects the equilibrium theory. The interpersonal distance between individuals can also affect the intimacy equilibrium level. During social interaction, one's intimacy should increase when individuals are in close proximity. A hug or a kiss are good examples of nonverbal behaviors that increase intimacy between two people. The equilibrium theory states that all people automatically adjust their physical proximity in order to maintain the desirable level of intimacy. Once we know that there is someone nearby, it becomes habit to begin guessing or analyzing where they are going to go and how we should respond in order to keep the appropriate amount of distance. Most people don't realize it, but communication is constantly occurring through physical proximity. Lastly, I'd like to talk to you about equilibrium theory and the affiliative motivation. The need for affiliation is a balanced equilibrium concerns the desire to be associated with specific people and groups, to have a greater sense of belonging. It plays an important role in human interactions and the formation of bonds and relationships. As a principle of this theory, the need for affiliation determines the motivation for both verbal and nonverbal behaviors between two individuals. A person with a moderate need of affiliation towards another person tends to want to be intimate with that individual. One of the best examples is a wedding proposal. A man's desire to have a more intimate relationship with a woman is put on display and warrants a verbal response, which also validates the woman's need for affiliation if she accepts the proposal. It is supposed that similar considerations apply to other types of behavior which are linked to or with affiliative motivation. Thus, there will be an equilibrium point of physical proximity, intimacy of conversation, and amount of smiling. The more these behaviors occur, the more affiliative motivation is satisfied. But if they go too far, anxiety is created. I hope that today I have given you a better understanding of how the equilibrium theory affects your nonverbal communication through eye contact, physical proximity, and affiliative motivation. Being able to understand and identify this theory should benefit you not only in your career but in your personal life as well.